Welcome back to a new video. So I'm going to do this like the one from the other day. So I have an intro, the lifts in the middle without any music. So I got my headphones in and then the conclusion at the end. But today is the, I guess, technical last day of the deload. I have some no foot snatches, which I think were originally, they're like hip, above the knee, below the knee. And I swapped it to what the app has is no foot, no hook snatches. And I'm just going to err on the side of just doing regular no foot snatches. I'm going to use straps today because my hands are a bit raw from training, but I don't want some sort of big blister. Plus I haven't used straps in a couple days. So that's my cope to use them. I try to space them out a little bit. And I think I've honestly done a pretty good job of that, but I'm starting to get a bit sick. I'm hoping that it's nothing that's too bad. I definitely feel a little bit worse than yesterday. Yesterday, I was thinking about this before the video. On a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like I'm bedridden and I'm not doing anything and I'm not moving, and 1 being I coughed twice at noon. I would say yesterday I was definitely a 3, but I knew it was getting worse. And if you know that feeling, you kind of know what I'm talking about. When you start to get a little bit of, you have a wet cough like once and you're like, oh no, here it comes. And it's a similar symptom than what a lot of I don't know so much a lot of students were having, but a lot of teachers, or at least a couple of teachers that I work with that were around me were having as well, kind of like losing their voice and stuff, which is really detrimental if I lose my voice, obviously for every teacher. But if I get any sort of like throat type illness, it becomes so much worse during a school week, just with the amount of loud talking / yelling you have to do in a gymnasium. All day long. So I'm certainly hoping that it's a momentary thing or I'm able to manage it pretty well. And I think with the students that I'll have on Monday and Tuesday, it's a short week, I'm going to be optimistic and say like there'll be really good days of teaching, which means that I probably won't have to, be as vocal as I would be obviously if you're telling kids what to do, what not to do, and whatnot. So that's the hope. It's always the hope, because you hope everything goes well every single day that you teach for the kids and for yourself, because if they're happy, I'm happy. And if I'm happy and they're happy, then what is there to complain about? But next week is a short week. 2 days of students, conferences, a PD day on Thursday, and we're off Friday and I think Monday as well. So, I mean, if it does get really bad, then I do have the shortened week to help get by. I tried to record this intro already, so I'm actually pretty warm already, which is nice. Definitely felt pretty wretched from the leg extensions at the end of my workout I did yesterday. I did it more in the Mike Israel sense, where I was leaned back more, and so my middle, my quads actually exactly where he said got more sore, which is interesting. So I definitely want to modify them like that, which is basically just leaning back further in the chair at more of like a 45-degree angle, which I wasn't like super leaned forward, but I certainly made a difference to lean back. It was very interesting because during the actual session, doing the exercise didn't really feel much different, but after I definitely got more sore. That and leg curls. So as far as like accessory work goes, the hardest day of accessories I view is when I do leg extensions and leg curls and kind of just go really hard and trying to get like a pump with those, and obviously trying to increase the weight and the volume that I do with them. But I try to put that after my heavy Friday or Saturday day, whatever day of the week it happens to be. And the reason for that is to allow myself at least 2 days to fully recover, because like I'll have a Saturday session, but like if I don't lift well today, it's not that end of the world, whether it's, this is the last day of the deload week or it's the day before, the next Monday, the Monday or the Sunday of training. So it's not the end of the world if like I'm hyper not recovered on this day, but obviously 2 days of recovery is usually sufficient. On the other day, it's just trying to do, arms and other stuff. But I think I've done a good job with accessories, and I like that I took them off the app, because I think a lot of times I was just going through the motions with them. And this one, it's like I can track the ones that I'm interested in doing and feel a good stimulus from, and really try to hammer them. What I want to do more of in the upcoming weeks and in general is more mid-back exercises, so more like face pulling type motions, and I'm trying to like think about how I want to do it. I might just do like seated rows where I can really flex my back and then extend it as I'm pulling up, because I feel like that motion will be good for me to kind of get some blood in that area of my back, because that's kind of where it spasmed. If you just lean forward there, it's that part of my back. But other than that, like I'm happy with the leg accessories. Like I'm looking at the volume that I did the previous week and increasing that, as well as, you know, the intensity, which for me is always the easiest part of training. Just linearly progressing like movements you don't really care about, in the sense that like I want my snatch clean to go up. Like if my leg extension doesn't really do anything, like I don't really care. But because of that, I can be really like, all right, well, it felt heavy, so I'll just do the same weight and then accrue more volume and then do more than I, you know, I'm not worried about the intensity that I get to. But I don't know if I talked about what I'm doing this session, but no foot with straps. The hands are starting to get a bit beat up. And muscle snatches, of course, and then power clean and pause jerks. Originally, it gave me like a weird like 3-position snatch complex, and I just didn't want to do that. But I wanted to do some more no foot stuff. I don't want to do no hook, just regular no foot snatches, because I don't know, I kind of like them. I haven't done them in a while, and so when I was doing them the other day, I was like, these are certainly like putting me in the correct position. So I just want to keep reinforcing that. And then the clean and jerk complex, it was originally deficit cleans or deficit power cleans or something. And so I changed, or one of the swaps was power, or above the knee pause power clean plus pause jerk, which I've just done enough of those. I just want to do regular power cleans and just make my life a little bit easier on this day. Take my glasses off because I'm about to get started. And so there's regular power cleans and pause jerks, and they're just at 101. And I think today I might add additional sets of the snatch, because it was a 3-position snatch complex. So it was really three repetitions in a sense. And when I swapped to the no foot snatches, it just gave me 3 singles at 85 kilos, which I'm not necessarily against, because I'm not feeling that great. But at the same time, like I feel like I could probably add some more, or since I have straps on, I might be able to do doubles with them, how I did earlier in the week. And then for the clean and jerks, I'm just doing it at the same weight that was prescribed for the deficit cleans. I just don't have like any desire to, like, I could honestly vibe, you know, I could get it set up pretty easily, but I just dread the idea of doing a deficit clean. It just sounds so horrendous. For pulls and stuff, I wouldn't necessarily mind at all. But for like a full clean and jerk, that sounds not fun at all. And honestly, like I'm not that worried about my clean. If there's any movement where I can be really liberal with like the complexes I choose, I think it is with the clean. The snatches, like it's good to do what they have for the most part, but you also want to find the complexes that you like doing and you feel like are helping. And then, because you're just going to buy into them more and do them, you know, more aggressively, and just be more happy about doing them. When I had sets of 4 at the beginning of this week with the snatches, like I wasn't excited about that. Who is? But no foot snatches, I wasn't really actually that excited about until I had done the first double. After the first double, then I was like, all right, now I can really start to feel how I'm moving and start to try to move better. But get this one, and then we'll stop the intro here, hit the lifts, and talk about it after. But I haven't, my app didn't update the next week of training yet, so I have to wait till tomorrow, I think, probably, to see that. It had been showing it to me on Saturdays, but I don't know why it hasn't showed it to me yet today, so I just have to wait till tomorrow, which isn't that big of a deal, because obviously I have the session that I'm going to do today, so it's not a flaw with the app. I will say they need to add no foot snatches, like just that movement in. The fact that it's only no hook, no foot snatches, there's no delineation. I don't even think there's just no hook snatches by themselves, or, well, there's definitely not no hook, no foot snatches by themselves. They just have them together, which is fine. Like it's a okay movement, but like no foot snatches are a really beneficial movement on their own, of course. And I don't think anyone at the Weightlifting.Ai headquarters would disagree with that. And especially because they have it in other variations, like hang no foot snatch above the knee, or something. Like they have other variations that are just no foot. So I think that's just a flaw in the app. And then with the Android that I have now, so I switched from iPhone to Android, the swapping exercises just doesn't function properly. So that's an Android problem, but it's one you can get around by swapping the whole exercise itself instead of swapping with their choices. So if you use the app and you click, like, if I don't want to do the no foot, no hook snatches, I can click swap, and it will give you 3 choices. You can also pick any exercise you want. So you just have to go through that option, which isn't really that difficult. It's just an extra step you have to go through, but it's definitely buggy going through that at different times. So the app will get stuck in that like loadout screen. But honestly, if that's the only issue I have with the Android, because I got a Google Pixel now, I'm pretty happy with the overall functionality of it. And if one app doesn't work, you know, perfectly, rest of it works fine, so I'm not worried about that too much. But I think that's enough of a intro. So I guess I'll talk to you guys at the end of the video once I suffer through this, and hopefully a little bit of chest cold that I'm having doesn't get any worse, and then I wake up tomorrow and I feel 100% healthy. But I have a feeling that I probably won't, but I'm hoping that I at least don't feel worse. That's always the goal with being sick. But I don't know, let's hit these muscle snatches and just get a move on. But I'll talk to you at the end of the video. Well, that session went a lot better than I'm currently feeling. A mild headache. I certainly not enough, obviously, to limit me or something that was bothering me when I was lifting, but just something that I kind of feel, and so it's something to be aware of. Obviously, just being generally sick as well. I saw with the no foot snatches, I pushed those up to 100, and as I was doing them, I was trying to go based on how the movement was feeling and looking, and not how like cognitively I was feeling. So if I kind of went off that today, then I probably would have just went to bed and just slept. But obviously, I'm motivated enough to come out here and try to train. And as I was moving, I was like, these are actually feeling pretty decent. So once I did the 80, I was like, I don't really want to do doubles. Doesn't sound very fun. And the last time I had doubles at 90, and I know that I'm going to do more no-foot snatches most likely in the future, whether it's like in the next week of training or it's just going to be like a complex or a variation that I'm going to bias in selecting. So I wanted to push that up to a little bit of higher intensity, so to get that 100 to obviously, theoretically keep pushing that up. The best no-foot snatch I've ever had is, I think, 122 or 3, but it's a really ugly lift. So if I get up to doing like 110 and 115 for really solid reps, then it's certainly a good position to be in for that particular movement. But for clean jerks, I was also surprised that the power cleans felt really good. I haven't done just a regular power clean in a hot minute, just a lot of the like pause above the knee power cleans. So I guess those are helping the regular power clean. But I didn't want to do, it was originally 5 sets at 101. And I was just curious, like with how they're feeling, how 100 felt, then with 110 felt, if 120 would feel the same. And honestly, it didn't feel too bad. I definitely had to spread my feet out a little bit more, but the jerks for all of them were really easy, despite them being pause jerks. So I was able to go 100, 110, and 120 with those. Because I don't know what my training tomorrow will look like, nor do I know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. Based on how I'm lifting right now, I'm going to guess that I'm not really that sick. Because if I was going to get progressively worse, I would imagine that I would start to feel those symptoms, especially because it's like 8 o'clock at night. I would start to kind of feel those symptoms now. But I'm going to take some nighttime cold medicine when I go to bed tonight to make sure that, you know, I don't wake up at 3 in the morning with a fever and whatnot. I don't think I necessarily will, but it's kind of nice to, it's good to be precautious of that kind of thing. If you start to get like symptoms of being sick, just to nip it in the butt, but try to minimize the symptoms as much as you can so your life is not destroyed. Because I find, it's probably backed by research or something, but I find that if I have the level of illness that I have now and I treat the symptoms at the current level that they're at, it's a lot easier to get back to homeostasis versus I'm at like an 8 or a 9 level illness where I'm feeling really bad and I'm desperate for the medicine to give me back to 5 or 6 or, you know, get me back to how I'm feeling now. So it's kind of good to stay ahead of it, and also, you know, just do the normal things of eating enough food and staying hydrated and stuff. And I think I've actually done a really good job of drinking a lot of water and whatnot. So I got those electrolyte packets from Walmart, and I don't necessarily care that it's, you know, electrolytes necessarily, but it's, you know, sugar-free flavored water essentially. And so that allows me to drink really high volumes, which being, I think this morning I was 237 in pounds, not in kilos. I'm not that fat, but weighing that much, I do need to drink quite a lot of water to make sure everything, my muscles and joints or whatnot are pretty saturated. So I think that it's pretty easy for larger people to become dehydrated when you have a lot of, you know, just general mass and all. And then for me, like I'm having more than the average person as far as muscle mass and stuff. So just to make sure everything is in homeostasis, that's the goal for everything. But I'm really happy with how training went today. Like I said, I'm not going to do accessories. I'm probably going to, depending, you know, obviously the big variable is how I feel tomorrow, if I'm like deathly ill or whatever. But if I feel like I'm able to train and I feel healthy and whatnot as I predict, and it's kind of always good to kind of predict that you're going to feel good tomorrow, because like mentally, that's half the battle. The battle of being healthy is just trusting that you're going to eat better the next day and not really be dreading like I'm going to feel sick tomorrow, because then you're going to feel that self-prophecy. But assuming I'm able to do normal training tomorrow, I'll probably be at the gym and I'll probably do some like seated rows. I'm kind of really thinking that that's going to be a good movement for me to add in, because it's a low stress movement in the sense that like I can do them without really like thinking about them. That's why I don't do a lot of like lunges and stuff as far as accessories, because it's really like, I don't know if it's neurologically stressful, but I know it's cognitively stressful for me to do lunges because they kind of hurt. They're not really that fun, and it takes a lot of mental effort for me to do them. And maybe that's because I'm mentally weak. But when I'm looking for accessories, I'm looking for ones that are mentally very easy to do, but I'm going to get a lot of bang for my buck. So leg extensions or leg curls, the most 2 recent ones I did are good examples of those. Like I don't have to think. I just have to extend. I just have to flex my legs or whatever to do those 2 movements. And I'm just trying to work hard at that movement. I'm not worried about like, is my knee going to hurt on this? I need to stay balanced and whatnot. And I think lunges and stuff are great movements, but man, I just don't like doing them. And when I really don't like doing an accessory movement, then I just don't a lot of the times. But I think it's important to find ones that are still going to help and ones that you're going to be able to like really put your mind to and to work hard at. And they should kind of rotate, I would imagine. So, I mean, I don't think I should perpetually do leg extensions and leg curls for my only leg accessories forever, but it is kind of nice to have one that you can linearly progress for a bit and then kind of change it. That's also kind of another thing with lunges, like what am I going to do to progress it? Like carry more weight just sounds miserable to do. But some sort of single leg stuff is definitely on the menu. Actually, with leg extensions, I have been doing some single leg extensions. Like actually pretty similar to what Sam Solik does with it, just not with the degradation of technique, because I don't want to hurt my joints, and I don't, I want to train the next day, so I'm not trying to eviscerate my body. But with the leg extensions, trying to do some single leg stuff with them, so trying to get some of that benefit as well. But I don't know what tomorrow will have. The trend with the program is that I'll have a lot of heavy snatches and some squats and some pulls and probably some push presses. That's usually a pretty standard day. A lot of like heavier snatch singles, so I'm gonna hold off on doing accessory work and try to make sure I'm recovered. But I kind of like this style of video. I apologize if it is going to be 20 minutes or whatever, but I'll try to be condensed in the intro and the conclusion as much as I can. But I think it's a different style, and it will be easier for me to edit. So I'll have 3 different styles of videos, and it'll allow me to not fall behind on editing as much. And if I do, then I'm just being lazy at this point, because doing these kind of videos, I already have the commentary done, and I just, you know, plop it all together. And it's kind of nice too, because I just have my thoughts like right after the session about how I'm feeling. So it's kind of good for, you know, that kind of catalog effect, or cataloging of whatnot, of my training and whatnot as well. But I think that's just going to be it. So I'm going to go in, eat some more food, try to make sure I drink a lot of water. That's going to be my big key today and tomorrow, or really just perpetually, but really when you're feeling sick, just to make sure you're staying hydrated and eating enough. That's usually my appetite takes a huge dip when I'm feeling slightly ill, even like today. Not that ill, but yeah, I certainly at least don't feel like eating, especially when I have to stuff my face. But anywho, I've rambled on long enough. As you can tell, the caffeine has kicked in, and I've been utilizing it to be extra talkative, but I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll talk to you all in the next video. I hope you have a great day. Peace.